Joining me today is a regular guest on the program, Monty Hipsch, CEO and founder of Aussie Web and Aussie Web Conversion, joins me from Brisbane, Australia. Monty, welcome to the show.
G'day, Wayne. Good to see you again.
Now, Monty, I understand you've been putting a lot of your time and considerable research abilities into call tracking. Now, I'm not sure what this is, so you better explain it to me like I'm five.
Okay, Wayne. Well, as you'd be aware from internet activities over the last few decades, we're very, very good at driving traffic to people's websites using Google AdWords or search engine optimization to get the traffic to their site. But more and more people today, in our research shows that less and less people are filling out forms and waiting for people to reply because A, they're worried about spam in their email box, and B, they don't want to wait. So they transition once they visit the website to a telephone number. Mm-hmm. And often once they go to that telephone number, we lose the ability to claim the responsibility for that lead or that prospect because we're not able to track the phone number when they move. Well, that situation has changed.
And I guess for people using mobile phones to look at a website, the absolutely automatic thing to do is just push the call button.
Click to call, either from Google Ads or just regular click to call from a mobile website. They want to talk to somebody and they want to talk to them now.
Yep. And so call tracking gives you the ability to track those calls that are made by the potential customer.
The call tracking systems available today allow you to either procure a custom landline or a 1-300 number that is dynamically created on the website, either when you drive traffic through Google AdWords or whether they just come to your site naturally.
I see. So you've been playing with this for a while. What have your findings been? What have you found out?
Well, it's interesting. The research indicates, first of all, that there's a lot of calls, surprisingly, that go unanswered or not even dealt with at all. Yeah. In fact, the data indicates about 70% of the calls are answered, but 30% either ring out or get a busy signal and they're lost. But when you have call tracking, the call tracking system will even record an unanswered call or a busy signal call.
That's an extraordinarily high number of prospects that are just not even getting into the conversion process, isn't it?
That's it.
Put all that effort in to get people to come to you, and then they finally ring your number and you don't answer.
And the call tracking systems today will actually send you an email to say that an inquiry was initiated and you didn't answer it or it got a busy signal, or if you did answer it, it will record that information and actually record the call conversation for you as well.
I'm surprised the numbers are so high, Monty.
Yeah, it was shocking to me as well, and the data was from some significant large organizations here in Australia who said, "Oh, we always answer the phone. We've got a call center. We don't have to worry about any of this," and the data doesn't bear that out.
Management would be surprised too, I expect.
Absolutely, when they think everything's going hunky-dory and they realize that as much as 30% of their inquiries are not being dealt with.
So is this call tracking an add-on that you install if you're going to invest in Google advertising?
That is one of the options, and I just returned from a conference with Google in Singapore where they were bringing all their SME partners together to discuss what was going on. And one of the problems that all of us have had is our clients saying, "Hey, your AdWords or your search engine optimization isn't making my phone ring." Well, that no longer has to be the case, because with call tracking, not only are you alerted to the fact that the call came in, but you can actually see that data in both your Google AdWords and in Google Analytics. Identify the amount of phone calls, where they came from, when they came from, where they answered. If they were answered, you can then play back the conversation to see the quality of that inquiry.
And Monty, do you have a sense of what the expense involved in this is?
Yeah. You can get a domestic landline number for as little as $10 a month, and a 1-300 number for $25 a month. And then on top of that, you do, in fact, pay for the duration of the call. But again, to have the ability to see how effective your expenditure is in driving online traffic from any source, it could even be from social media, that's a very valuable activity.
Yeah, and I guess there is an adage in all marketing that says, what counts is what gets counted, and you can't manage what you can't measure. So for those people who are concerned about measuring their marketing results, this is probably a very good answer.
Absolutely. It's closing that loop that we were always getting people to websites and then losing them when they went to the phone. And we talk with clients and they say, oh, we ask people, how did you find us? And we tick on a piece of paper and this and that. But that's always an added activity that requires extra effort. And often it's not done with vigilance.
Yeah, I have to say I'm very skeptical of the quality of this data from those sorts of in-store surveys about where did you hear about us, or, just based on my own experience, it's one of those questions you say anything to get out of that conversation and move on.
Absolutely correct. So now there's no excuse for that. For a few dollars, less than a few dollars a day, if it's a landline, that's no longer the issue. You can now track all that right to the phone call and replay that phone call so you can see the quality of the inquiry. It just takes all the guesswork out of it, and it makes us accountable for the traffic generation. Again, we have to be bidding on right keywords or doing the right thing so that we're qualifying the leads, but at least we can measure how many we receive and how engaged they are when the person talks to them at the other end of the line.
Monty, have you talked to any of your customers about installing this, and what's their reaction been?
The fact that it's fully integrated with AdWords and with Google Analytics so that the data then comes into their usual reporting, the only question is whether you're going to pay the $10 or $25 a month for a landline or a 1-300 service, or even a mobile number if you want.
Yep.
There's little resistance, particularly when people are spending hundreds or thousands of dollars a month on online marketing.
It sounds like a very effective tool, and we'll look forward, I hope, to talking to you about it in a few months' time when perhaps you'll have many thousands of people have used it, and we'll be able to get some sense from you as to what sort of improvement it's given them in their bottom line.
Yep. It's worth knowing. I'm looking at a piece of paper, and I'll make this available to people relative to this video, but the Google had a slide that they presented about all the call tracking companies globally, and they ranked them. And we've been using the one that was most available in all English-speaking countries and most of Asia as well, called Delacon. And they're fully integrated with Marketo and Optimizer and Adobe and Kensho and all Salesforce and all sorts of these tools. And so Google basically was referring to them as a Google partner in this call tracking area.
All right. Well, it's nice to know there are, I guess, well-qualified suppliers available out there.
Absolutely. And I mean, as you say, to measure and to know for certainty takes away the guesswork.
Monty Hipsch, CEO and founder of AussieWeb and AussieWeb Conversions. Once again, thank you for your time today. It's been a pleasure chatting to you again.
Thank you, Wayne. It's nice to be able to talk about technologies that are cost-effective and don't break the bank.